Welcome back to another TBR Jar Picks, my monthly TBR. We are now picking the TBR for the month of April, which is so crazy because I literally feel like the year started yesterday, but nonetheless, here we are. Let's just jump right in. Here are our prompts. We have quite a few. Same TBR cart as always, just as packed as always, and I will say there are so many new books coming out in April that I definitely have my eye on. Obviously they're not out yet, so I don't own them, but I don't know if to consider them for this TBR or to not. I guess it'll just kind of come down to the prompts, but the three that I'm mostly looking forward to reading are Great Big Beautiful Life by Emily Henry, Say You'll Remember Me by Abby Jimenez, and Fearless by Lauren Roberts. Also, The Conditions of Will by Jessa Hastings, actually. So those are 4 books already that I could literally just put on my TBR, but we're gonna see if we can fit them in. If not, we'll still pick 6 from here and then just see what we end up reading in the month of April. So first prompt is going to be, let's do this one. There's 2. I don't know. Okay, sure, we'll do this one. So it is a nature word in title. There we go, a nature word in title. So first prompt, nature word is going to be what, like tree, grass, stuff like that. Let's see what we have on here that fits into that prompt. We have these 2 that I just keep staring at and kind of avoiding because I honestly don't know why I'm avoiding these books. I feel like mostly it's this one that I've had for the longest time. It's been on the TBR a few times, and I think it's just mostly like a contemporary fiction about trees and like nature and like the big picture story of how that affects our world. So I think I'm gonna choose this one just because I don't think I'm quite ready to jump into this specific Kristen Hanna book yet, so I'll keep this one back on the TBR for now, but I think we're gonna go with The Overstory by Richard Powers. It's a Pulitzer Prize winner, which is what it says up here. I think from 2019, so that's really awesome. I don't think I've ever read an actual Pulitzer Prize winner, so we'll see how that goes. This is book number 1 for our April TBR, which honestly, we're getting into spring, it's getting more naturey, so I'm not mad. Prompt number 2. Here's the jar. Let's see what we pick. Let's go with this long one. This long one says, book by author that blurbed your favorite book. So a book by an author that blurbed your favorite book. Look, I'm having trouble with this one. I don't really know what this means. I feel like I've picked this one before, and honestly, I don't remember like what I did. You know what? We're gonna pass on this one, and I've never ever done that before. I've never passed on a prompt, but this is taking too much mental gymnastics for this Monday morning, and you know what? Let's just go for another one. Okay, we have this one, and it is a biography or memoir. I was not planning on reading a biography or memoir this month. Interesting. What can we pick? I don't think I have any biographies or memoirs on here. Unless this is a fiction book, I'm pretty sure. Yeah, this isn't a biography or memoir. To be honest, I don't think any of these are biography memoirs, so moving on, I guess. Wow, very interesting way this is turning about because I feel like that's not usually. One fell out, so let's just see what this is. One word title. Okay, so we do have a couple of those. Okay, these are all the one-word titles that we have on our cart. Anatomy, A Love Story. We have Travis. We have Bride. And we have Hopeless by Elsie Silver. Now, I don't know about you guys, but I think I finally want to finish the Chestnut Spring series. That way we can dive into Elsie Silver's new series. I think that's going to be the decision for me. I'm going to go with Hopeless by Elsie Silver, which is the 5th book in the Chestnut Spring series, the final one. This is Beau's book, so I'm very excited for this actually. Let's put this on our TBR. Moving on to prompt number 3. We have a lot of green going on the TBR so far, so let's see what we're gonna get next. This one says, one of your favorite authors. All right, I think it's only fair that for this one, I choose one of the new releases coming out later this month. So it's either going to be Great Big Beautiful Life by Emily Henry or Say You'll Remember Me by Abby Jimenez. I think I want to go with, I feel like I'm gonna read either one, honestly, like both probably. So I'm gonna go with Say You'll Remember Me by Abby Jimenez. We're gonna theoretically put that on the TBR because we don't have it yet, it's not out, but I am gonna count that towards the final 6. So that is book number 3, Say You'll Remember Me by Abby Jimenez. No brainer, cannot wait for that book to come out. It's gonna be the best. Okay, moving on to book number 4, or prompt number 4. It's going to be a low star prediction. That's not fun because we don't ever want to really read a book that's probably going to be a 1-star prediction. Okay, I think I'm kind of going towards these 3. The Club by Ellery Lloyd, The Chicken Sisters by KJ Del Antonia, and Dishonestly Yours by Krista and Becca Ritchie. Now, it's kind of sad that these 2 are both Reese's Book Club picks, and then this one I just haven't heard great things about, if I'm being honest. So, I mean, they're all ones that I feel like I haven't heard too many bad things about The Chicken Sisters, so I don't think this one will be really too low of a rating. I think I want to go with The Club just because it's short, it looks like a fast read, and I don't know, I feel like this one, it's a Reese's Book Club pick. I just don't think it's gonna be like the perfect book for me. Do I even know what it's really about? No, it's giving me more of thriller mystery vibes, but I think once we finally review like our entire stack, I'll kind of go into more depth about what this is actually about. But I don't know, I just feel like a little inclined to pick this one. These 2 I'm gonna keep on the TBR because I haven't heard the greatest things, but I don't know if it would necessarily be a low star like rating, if that makes sense. So I think I'm gonna go with The Club. But it's nice and short, which is a good thing. So regardless, it'll be quick, hopefully. So that's book number 4. Since remember, we have Say You'll Remember Me, literally by the title, Remember Her. Okay, next pick is going to be, it's just like this really long one that keeps wanting to be picked, but I keep kind of avoiding it. Instagram poll chooses. Okay, this is interesting. So I'm gonna take a picture of 2 books that I would want to read. I'm gonna cover the covers and then put like emojis that would kind of describe that book, and then we'll just see what people choose. Now, which 2 do I want to go with? I think I want to go with Legendary, book number 2 in the Caraval series, and I think I want to go with maybe Love Unwritten, which is a Lauren Asher book. So a romance, and we have a fantasy. I'm going to take a picture of these 2 and put them on our Instagram. Okay, and now maybe let's draw. This is so fun. I've seen people do this like all the time, but I just have never done it myself. This looks terrible. Okay, and then the next one. Shoot, I feel like, okay, it's obviously very much giving, one of them is a romance and one of them is like a darker sort of fantasy type. A rose and maybe, what? I don't know what is going on here. Okay, this one, and then maybe a carousel. Oh, is it because, there we go, I think, yeah. We were in a different language keyboard, so that's probably why. Okay, and then Love Unwritten, there's like a letter, so we'll go with that. And then a heart, a pink heart probably, and a plane, because I think this one takes place like in Hawaii and they like, you know, go on a trip. So let's see what people choose. Putting it up on the Instagram. There we go, it's up, and then we'll give it some time, obviously. Not too sure how long that's really gonna take for people to fill that out or to vote. So it's gonna obviously gonna be one of these 2, Legendary by Stephanie Garber or Love Unwritten by Lauren Asher. These 2 are pretty much like the same length, which is really interesting because one of them's a full-on fantasy and the other one is a romance. So we'll really see. I'm down for either one of these, honestly, in April, because I've been needing to finish or catch up in the series. And then I read Caraval last month, absolutely loved it, and now I can't wait to continue this trilogy. So either one I would be okay with, to be honest. But that would be book number 5. So let's pick our last and final prompt. Let's go with this one. This one says a popular book. Okay, that's really interesting because we can really go either way. Okay, I feel like there's a good amount more on here that fit this prompt, but these are kind of the 3 top contenders for me. We have Bride by Ali Hazelwood, The Women by Kristen Hanna, and Same Time Next Summer by Annabelle Monaghan. Now, honestly, would love to read all of these. This is contemporary fiction, this is historical fiction, and this one's kind of like a paranormal romance, so very interesting. We have 3 different vibes going on. Same Time Next Summer is giving more summer vibes. We're barely going into spring, so on those conditions alone, I'm gonna put it back. Then Bride by Ali Hazelwood. I feel like I just have way too many romances kind of in the works with the new releases and whatnot, and the ones that are already on my TBR, so for that reason, I'm putting it back. So that leaves us with our final choice, and that is The Women by Kristen Hanna. I know I put The Four Winds back, but I wasn't necessarily ready to dive into that one. I am, however, extremely excited to dive into this one. This one has been an anticipated read for me for a very long time. Honestly, this is kind of a 5-star prediction as well, and I know this is one of like 2024's biggest books, so I cannot wait to read this, and I'm very excited to have this on my TBR. I don't know what to expect, but that's the fun part. So this is the last book going on the TBR. Now let's review the ones that are on here, although we do still have one more pending. So first and foremost, we have The Overstory by Richard Powers. I think this is definitely more of a fiction book. This is, from what I've heard, is about just nature and the environment and the impacts that it has on your life, although you don't think about that in the day-to-day. On the back it says, the best novel ever written about trees, and really just one of the best novels, period. That little blurb was given by Anne Patchett, who wrote Tom Lake, and I've heard of this book for the longest time. I have tried to read it multiple times and I just couldn't get into it, so I don't know. This one is very interesting to me. It does call my attention. I haven't really seen too many people talk about it. I think I bought this in 2022 in Portugal at the oldest library, the oldest like functioning library, so it even has a stamp on the inside. So it is a very special book to me. I don't know why, it's just sat on the TBR for a very long time. If I could get this off this month, it would really be like a dream come true. So we will just see how I feel about this and what it ends up being like, but I think this is giving more just to fiction, like maybe even literary fiction read. Next up, we have Hopeless by Elsie Silver, the 5th and final book in the Chestnut Spring series. This is about Beau, the last brother that we have yet to have a whole book about, and I have been looking forward to his book because there are a lot of little stories and mentions and cameos of Beau in the previous other books, and his story is definitely one that you just feel for. Like, I very much empathize with him because he's gone through some really tough stuff, and this is obviously a romance, so I really have no idea what to expect. I don't really even know who his like romantic partner is going to be. I do plan on annotating it just like I have all the other books in this series, so once I finally finish this one, I will have read the entire Chestnut Spring series and it will be completely annotated. So I cannot wait for that. And then once I do that, I can finally dive into Elsie Silver's new series. So very, very, very happy to be getting this off the TBR. Hopeless by Elsie Silver. Next up, I think, is Say You'll Remember Me by Abby Jimenez, which is also contemporary romance. I cannot wait for that one. I don't really know what it's about, but we'll just throw it on the TBR. Next up, we have The Club by Ellery Lloyd. Like I mentioned, I don't really know what it's about. It says everyone's dying to join, a smart, stylish, and savage thriller. So I feel like this isn't gonna be your typical run-of-the-mill mystery thriller. I feel like this one's gonna have a bit of an edge to it just from the vibes that I'm getting. But do I think it's gonna be a low star prediction? Maybe. I just don't really know what to expect. And like sometimes that could be a great thing and that could be a bad thing. So we'll just end up seeing what this one is about and how I end up feeling. We also have The Women by Kristen Hanna. This is historical fiction. This takes place during the Vietnam War and about a woman who like enlisted and was in it, and kind of her time during the war and I think after. That's kind of what I have heard about it. I already know to expect emotional turmoil, dilemmas, like so much. Kristen Hanna's books always have so many themes that are talked about, so many topics. So I do know what to expect in that sense, and I am very, very excited for this. I would say this is a 5-star prediction for me. So those are all the books that I have on my TBR currently, but of course we have one more pending. I'm gonna give it maybe an hour or two and come back later, and then I'll reveal the results from the Instagram poll. So I'll see you guys then. Okay y'all, moment of truth. We're going to see who won the Instagram poll, if it was Legendary by Stephanie Garber or Love Unwritten by Lauren Asher. So let's take a look. Oh. So it was a blowout. 78% chose Love Unwritten unknowingly, but this one won. 78% over 22%, which is crazy because I did not expect that. If I'm being honest, I probably preferred Legendary just because like I really want to read it, but I have been wanting to get this off my TBR for a while now, like since it came out. So I am excited, and I haven't read a Lauren Asher book in a while. So this is book number 2 in the Lakefront Billionaire series. This should be good. So that's it for this video, guys. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll catch you guys in my next video. Bye.